Hello, thank you for joining me today. I'm here to talk to you about the communication strategy for our new Game On initiative. This blueprint will set Nike up for success in the new decade and beyond. Without further ado, let's dive in. Since 2015, Nike's annual revenue has risen by $8.5 billion. In recent years, quarterly sales improved year over year, driven by growth across all regions and in the company's digital platforms, collectively known as Nike Direct. Net profit hit a two-year low of $847 million this past quarter. The low represented a 23% decrease year over year and was a result of the transition of Nike brand business in South America to strategic distributor partnerships and the insignificant gain pocketed by the sale of the Hurley brand. North America is a key market for Nike, accounting for 41% of the company's total revenue. Year over year, revenue grew 4% in the third quarter of fiscal year 2020. However, long-term growth has been stagnant. The effects of COVID-19 have begun to appear as revenue in China, an integral growth market, was down 4% following 22 consecutive quarters of double-digit growth. As you can see, we dominate the footwear category with 33.8% of the market share, followed by Adidas and Puma. We also lead in apparel with 13.7%, followed closely by Adidas and Under Armour. And in the sports equipment category, we are in the middle of the pack with 1.7% of market share. Major competitors are category leader Amer Sports and Adidas. There are some opportunities and trends. Esports continues to grow at an impressive clip as the World Championship Finals for one event drew more viewers than the Super Bowl. Women's sales make up 25% of Nike's revenue, but women's sneaker sales have grown 33% compared to just 10% for men's, representing incredible potential within this market. In the climbing market, sales have grown by 28% recently, and climbing will make its debut as a new event in the upcoming Olympics, reflecting indoor climbing's rocketing popularity. Which leads us to our first high-level initiative, to develop a women's esports apparel and footwear line. Other brands generally focus on men's or unisex products. This presents an opportunity for us to develop a product line, a sneaker, performance hoodie, and esports jersey, researched, designed, wear-tested, and marketed with the female gamer in mind. To attract interest, we will sponsor an all-female esports team. In addition, we will partner with Fortnite to sell in-game digital copies of the new line and advertise on popular female gamer Twitch streams and YouTube channels. The second initiative is to launch a limited edition line of women's sneakers co-designed by female Olympians. Our competitors have begun to make the pivot to the women's market, but have focused their partnerships on entertainers. For Nike to differentiate itself, it will put the athlete back in athletic sneakers by partnering with female Olympians. We will partner with U.S. track and field star Sydney McLaughlin, the youngest athlete to make the USA team in 36 years, and Brayton Zuner, who became the youngest gold medalist in X Games history. They will make great strategic partners because Nike has a strong heritage with the running community, and skateboarding culture was one of the catalysts of the sneakerhead movement. The third and final initiative is to break into the climbing footwear market. Since Nike will be the new kid on the block, we will need to take a disruptive approach. To place its stamp on the evolution of the climbing shoe, Nike will research and develop a more comfortable shoe using our proprietary Flyknit fabric along with a more durable yet flexible rubber sole. To market it, Nike will sponsor upstart climbing gym chain Brooklyn Boulders, which caters to the new generation of climbers with graffiti walls and live music. In addition, we'll sponsor and produce commercials featuring U.S. Olympic climbers Ashima Shiraishi, the youngest and first female in history to complete the second hardest difficulty level for an outdoor climb, and Nathaniel Coleman, who was the first U.S. man to qualify for the Olympics. These initiatives will be branded under one unifying campaign by the slogan, Game On. The imagery will be the silhouettes of individuals drenched in spotlight. This connects all three initiatives under the umbrella of entering the spotlight and becoming a major player in the cultural conversation. We have three goals with these initiatives: to build a new brand image of gender inclusivity, a big win for a company long seen as a men's sporting company, to attain long-term growth in the North American market, and to keep Nike on the bleeding edge of innovation, resulting in products that drive revenue growth into the future. On the implementation side, we will use our CRM to gather data on these new audiences, which will teach us how to communicate authentically with them. To ensure the entire company is on the same page, we will designate the definition for new products and categories entering the ERP to ensure they are uniform. In addition, ERP software will be used to track budgets and workflows during the R&D phase of each new product. 4 communication channels will be prioritized for these initiatives. To start, we will conduct team meetings among stakeholders to establish the details of each initiative and to develop an internal communication strategy. Second, we will deliver behind-the-scenes content on the design process through apps like Sneakers to drum up interest. Third, we will buy strategic advertising space on digital platforms frequented by younger female demographics. And lastly, we will roll out a strategic traditional advertising campaign ramping up to the Olympics, focusing on inspirational stories about the sponsored Olympians. I want to highlight a few people who will be integral to the success of these initiatives. First, we have Amy Montaigne, VP GM of Global Categories, who will help with our new eSports athletic apparel and footwear line. Because she has deep experience with launching products to the women's market, and because this initiative is about Nike throwing its considerable clout behind the hot-button issue of gender equality in professional gaming, I would like her to be the public face of it. In addition, I will have her oversee market research efforts into discovering the buyer personas in this new market. Next, we have Matthew Nurse, who is the VP of the Nike Sport Research Lab, who will help with breaking into the climbing market. Because he has consulted on the development of countless models of Nike footwear, and because Nurse is very media savvy, I will ask him to be the public face of this initiative, touting the technological advances of our new climbing footwear in the lead up to launch. He will also be integral in motivating our R&D team to create what we believe will be a revolutionary new shoe. Finally, we have Andy Campion, our COO, who will assist with our new line of Olympian-inspired women's footwear. Because he leads Nike's digital transformation, his insight will be beneficial to optimizing the digital strategy of this initiative. In addition, he is on the board of directors for the 2028 LA Olympics Games, so his insight and connections will be helpful in reaching out to our Olympian partners. To account for cultural differences, we will use different tactics to market these new initiatives to different countries. The United States is a highly individualistic society, so in marketing our new eSports line, advertisements will focus on individual gamers and depict the elation of individual glory. China and Brazil are both on the collectivist side of the spectrum, so their advertisements will feature scenes of sisterhood and team glory, and ad copy will highlight the feeling of community in esports. The United States and Brazil are short-term societies, so in marketing our Olympian co-designed line of sneakers, we will focus on the limited edition nature of the products. In the United States, the ad copy will have lines like, "These sneakers will disappear faster than it takes for Sydney McLaughlin to run the 400-meter hurdles," or "These sneakers will disappear faster than it takes Brighton Zuner to land a one-armed invert." China is a long-term society, so the ad copy will speak to the future glory of a gold medal, but the visuals will focus on the hard work done today. The United States and Brazil are both indulgent societies, so in marketing our new climbing footwear, advertisements will focus on the social aspect of hitting the climbing gym with a group of friends. The visuals will feature a kinetic view of climbing with quick cuts all set to a propulsive soundtrack. China is a restrained society, so the advertising campaign will focus on the duty one should feel to one's own health. It will also highlight the connection to the earth and the spiritual experience of climbing. As messaging can make or break any initiative, this is what I have coached my team to say when anyone asks what we've been up to. The Game On initiative is about transforming the ways in which Nike inspires and supports athletes worldwide. We are leaning into Nike's spirit of innovation by developing products for previously underserved markets, specifically a women's esports athletic apparel and footwear line, a limited edition line of women's sneakers co-designed by female Olympians, and a revolutionary new line of climbing footwear. But our goal is not simply to launch some products. Our goal is course correction. Our goal is to right the ship so that we are comprehensively championing every athlete everywhere, no matter the gender, no matter the sport. We intend for these initiatives to be the first step on that journey. Next up is the change management plan. Some of these steps have already been touched on earlier in the presentation, so I'll only highlight a few of them. First, to create a sense of urgency, I will highlight the imperative of reactivating growth in North America and the importance of having everything ready by the Olympics so that we can capitalize on a global audience. To form a powerful coalition, I will partner with the aforementioned stakeholders, but also I will form 2 nimble project teams that will work on specific elements of these initiatives, with the whole group meeting weekly to share progress and mind meld. To create quick wins, I will break down the initiatives into increments. For instance, the Olympic sneaker line will be broken down into the Olympian selection phase, the design phase, the pre-launch hype phase, and the launch phase. To build on the change, I will celebrate successes by rewarding those who have made a big impact with promotions and/or bonuses. Finally, to make it stick, I will hold post-mortem meetings to analyze what went right, what went wrong, and what we learned so that we can institutionalize those learnings throughout the organization. Lastly, key performance indicators will be necessary to measure success. China had double-digit growth up until the most recent COVID-19 affected quarter, so our first KPI will be to grow year-over-year revenue in China by 10% by end of fiscal year 2021. Non-endemic brands entering esports have garnered around 20% of share of voice with their activations. So similarly, we will aim to increase our share of voice for relevant esports, athletic apparel, and footwear keywords by 20% by the end of fiscal year 2021. Right now, women's sales make up 25% of revenue, so another KPI will be to increase share of women's sales of overall Nike revenue to 35% by the end of fiscal year 2021. In addition, I believe our marketing strategy in the global stage of the Olympics will allow us to triple the number of unique daily female visitors to the Nike e-commerce website by the end of the Olympics. It will be an uphill battle to enter a brand new market, but given the global power of our brand and the strength of the Nike Sport Research Lab, we will be able to capture 2% of the market share in the climbing footwear market by the end of fiscal year 2022. And increase the monthly competitive win rate in the climbing footwear market by 20% by the end of the Olympics. These initiatives will provide Nike with a framework it will need to succeed in this new decade and beyond. Thank you so much for your time.